Mike. It says despot, D-E-S-P-O-T. Please state your name, where you live, for the record.
Mike Despot, Boise, Idaho, District 16. And if the chair will allow it, I'd like someone to read my statement for me. I am legally blind and unable to read the statement myself. And before that happens, I just want to mention to the committee, in case you're not aware, the Department of Administration have plans, I believe it's, I'm not sure just what you'd have to check, but they're going to turn that space into a parking lot soon. So it seems this whole thing is really not needed because we're going to have to move because we can't stay there as it gets turned into a parking lot. But with your permission, I'd like maybe Bob to read a statement for me, or
as an alternative, we can have our page make a copy of that, and we'll see that it.
Well, I'd sure like to have it read. I would read it myself if I could.
But we would like you to have a copy of that for each member of the committee as well.
Oh, sure. Okay.
Is it truly an emergency to pass this anti-free speech bill? Excuse me, this is anti-camping bill. Is it necessary for the state government to tell its citizens how and when they can exercise the right to free speech? Is it that the view from the Capitol is so disturbing to some in this legislative body? Is it that when you look across 6th Street, you get a view of the anger that is building in this country against a corrupt national government? Is it that the view of the people that have been foreclosed on by illegal means by the greedy banksters is hard to take? Yes, the vigil across the street is what America is becoming. I urge each of you, before voting on this bill, to visit the vigil on Tuesday, January 24th. Meet us, talk to us, and know us. You will find this is not a campsite, but a site of free speech by Americans that are deeply concerned about the corruption in our federal government and the collapse of the middle class. Occupy is at this site in part to urge you to help us, the 99%, change the corrupt national system. We are not your enemy. We are your fellow citizens. We are the people of Idaho, using our voices to improve the lives of the many. Some of you may know that we have worked well with the City of Boise and its police department to ensure that our demonstrations do not disrupt the lives of the 99% in Boise. We also worked with the Department of Administration to accommodate their needs as well as ours. I mention this to let you know that a heavy-handed law against our free speech rights is likely not needed. I ask that you work with us and explore middle ground that might accomplish your needs as well as ours. To put a law like this into effect quickly just is not necessary, and if the intent of the law is really to prevent camping on Capitol Mall grounds, then why can it not be implemented on July 1st, as is the norm? Is there really an emergency, or are you intent on suppressing free speech? That is a question that only each of you can answer for yourself. Before voting on this bill, oppressive bill, ask what harm is being done and who is being protected by this bill. We are occupying in front of a vacant building on grounds that are not a park and that is rarely used by the public. We also are respecting the war memorial, as some of us are veterans. If you look at past peaceful movements that were suppressed in this country, as well as around the world, you may find that when the nonviolent protesters were defeated by their government, then the violent protesters took over, often with negative results. So I urge you to find a way to support our voices and not suppress them. Thank you for hearing this and for giving free speech a chance. Please take the right course of action and protect the right of free speech.
questions? Representative Simpson.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. My question for you, based on the testimony, do I understand that you would support the bill without the emergency clause? Is that correct?
I think it would be a better bill without the emergency clause, and I just don't understand the emergency clause, and I really don't understand after 120 years of statehood and more than that as a region. We have not had to have this law, even though in the 1930s during the Depression there were tents all over this city, including on state land, with no one caring, because they were not protesting. They needed to be there because they had nowhere else to go. There's people right now at our vigil that have no place to go. They feel helpless, like you just heard from Scott. He just recently became homeless. It's not because the homeless are shiftless, drunks, and drug addicts. It's because this economy is killing the middle class.
Thanks. Further questions? Thank you, sir.
And who do I submit this to?
Give it to our page and you'll see this copy move it.
Thank you for the opportunity.
Thank you. John McMahon.